Greetings, boys and ghouls. Shit, that's terrible. Welcome, oh creatures of the night. Got what, like a vampire? I think there's a werewolf over there. What are you? You a zombie? I see you. It's October again, which can only mean, I don't know, like 5 things? But one of those things is Halloween! It's a time to make bad decisions. But in a spooky way. And as a YouTuber, shut up I am, it behooves me to create a Halloween episode for all of my loyal subscribers. Okay, guys, can we cut this, like the spooky lights? We get the idea. Like, can we? So, should we look at Silent Hill 2? No, that's actually scary. How about Eternal Darkness? You wanna give me nightmares? Plus, those games are actually good, and I don't want to do that much work. Right? So, in no particular order, this is It Came From the Shelf. 6 games that I was able to find on short notice. Ooh! Okay, I'm gonna stop that now.
Alright, I'm gonna start things portable here with Death Jr. for the PSP. In Death Jr., you play as the son of the Grim Reaper, if that wasn't immediately obvious, and when on a trip from Tim Burton Elementary School, he and his friends wander off from the tour group and they open a box that unleashes some evil junk, and it's up to you to platform and murder your way through various levels in order to save your friends. This one kind of feels like a PS2 game by way of PS1. So what do I mean by that? Well, the game came out in 2005, and so it has a lot of the same design advancements that were common at the time. But unfortunately, it's held back by the PSP's lack of a second analog nub like so many others. This, of course, means no direct camera control beyond the snap it behind the player button that you saw in so many original PlayStation 3D platformers. That, and of course those goddamn jumping sections where you know you hit the button at the right time, but you fall down anyway because God is dead and the universe hates you. So I guess I'm just saying it's a PSP platformer. But despite all this, it's not actually a bad game. The combat can be fun, there's exploration and stuff to collect. Yeah, the humor's a bit goofy, but it works. I just wish that they had leaned just a little bit more into the horror themes. All in all, it's a solid, albeit mundane hack and slash. If you have any love for the games of this generation, you could do a lot worse. Motherfucker! I love Castlevania. I love classic-style Castlevania. I love Metroidvania. I even like Lament of Innocence. Mostly. So, despite hearing that it was stinky poo-poo trash garbage, Castlevania Judgment made its way into my collection. I mean, there are other Castlevania games out there that people say are bad, and they're really bad. So imagine my surprise when I finally loaded it up for this video, and it's not that bad. So, what the hell is Castlevania Judgment? No, I'm asking, what the hell is this game? It kind of feels like they took Soul Calibur and Power Stone, crammed them together, and then covered it in Castlevania stickers. But don't get too excited because it's not nearly as good as the sum of those two parts would imply. It's a one-on-one fighting game in the Castlevania universe. You can play as series favorites like Simon my god, what is that? Nope, no. That's not Simon Belmont. This is Simon Belmont. And what in the freeze-dried fuck did they do to Maria? How do you go from this to this? What is going on here? So if you ask me, and you all clearly did, easily the worst aspect of this game is the character design. It suffers badly from being over-designed. Let's take a look at Death, for example. What is that? What did they do to his feet? Would it have just been too awesome to be able to fight as the cloaked Grim Reaper from the other games? Oh, and would you like some more evidence of that Soul Calibur influence I was talking about? You look me right in the eye and tell me they didn't turn Grant into Valdo and Carmilla into Ivy. Honestly, it was a little less distracting when she was naked and riding a giant skull. The controls are exceedingly simple. There's an attack button, a jump button, a block button, a use of item button, a hyper attack button, an evasion move, and a few specials that can be done with some combination button presses. Avid fighting game enthusiasts will probably see it as overly simplistic, because it kinda is, but as a pick up and play fighter, it's fine. Okay, so earlier I was talking about the hyper attack button. Well, each character has a unique hyper attack that can be done when your limit gauge at the bottom fills up. They're all completely unskippable and a little bit too long, but that's part of the dumb charm. They even added a mission mode that was clearly modeled after Weapon Master mode from Soul Calibur 2, but not quite as good. Which brings me to my other major gripe with Castlevania Judgment. Everything seems just a little half-baked. Not quite there. Elements that originally seemed really cool just feel like missed opportunities. And I'm just left sitting here, wondering what could have been. Okay, so there are these stages where you have to fight off classic Castlevania enemies, and then you fight a mini-boss monster. Neat. But you only ever fight zombies and mermen, and there are only 2 mini-boss types. That's not so neat. But on the bright side of things, the non-character visual design is absolutely on point, and the renditions of classic Castlevania tracks are great. In conclusion, it's shallow for a fighter, but it would probably make a pretty good party game, even with some of the, questionable choices?
They're huge. Will you stop? These things only get in the way.
Oh, Dreamcast. You may have been part of the 6th generation of game consoles, but does anything more literally and symbolically embody the last gasp of 90s gaming? Case in point, ZombieRevenge. This goddamn game just screams Dreamcast. It's an arcade port, because of course it is, where you run around as one of 3 characters, shooting, punching, drilling, and just murdering zombies any way you possibly can. And trust me when I say the jank is real, my friends. Just look at this. It's beautiful. The voice acting, while not quite House of the Dead levels of awful, is still wonderfully awkward.
Are we still following this guy?
He's the one making the zombie. To catch him, we have to follow. Let's go.
We're talking wall-to-wall cheese. And in how many other games can you punch a zombie in half? Exactly. And just listen to how the announcer guy says bullets. They even added an inexplicable one-on-one fighting mode. And there are only 3 characters. Why? Why not? Again, I'm not actually saying it's a bad game, but corgis. Is it ever emblematic of Sega's game development at the time? What more can I say but whee!
Next, we're going to take a look at Resident Evil 2. For the GameCom.
This is Resident Evil 2. This is Resident Evil 2 for the GameCom. They seem similar, but one is not like the other. One evokes joy. The other does not. And even if my GameCom screen weren't starting to go, this would not be acceptable. Who allowed this to happen? Was this made on a dare or under duress?
Who is responsible for this?
So, yes, it's a valiant effort considering the platform, but that's like saying, this makes a pretty great snow globe for a dead possum. So, consider this for a moment. Say you're playing a proper Resident Evil game, and you're attacked by a zombie. It's pretty easy to shake them off, right? Well, in the GameCom version, I had to look up if it was even an option. Yeah, you hit the C button, but it's not obvious. Look at this! Alright, so I finally made it more than 2 screens in, and I'm lost. I come from this direction, and I end up here. But now I'm running in place, and this takes me back to where I came from, and that's enough of that. Halloween isn't supposed to make you sad. Fuck you, Gamecom. Dark. I heard it had vampires in it. Just put it on. Just please. Dark so badly wants to be Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. But Vampire the Masquerade is a game with depth and fun and consideration for the feelings of others. Oh, and the people don't look like this. Is this arousing? Am I aroused right now? Who am I?
Pretty.
Ew. Stop that. You play as that. You've been vampired and you don't know why or by who. So it's up to you to stealth your way around levels, taking out enemies whose AI is a lot more A than I, to find out the answers to questions that nobody cares about a character I don't like and couldn't pull out of a lineup if you had my nuts in a vice. Oh, and the only thing spooky about this game is how badly it runs. I think the frame rate might be haunted. It's dumb, and I hate it, and it's stupid. Next. Isle of the Dead for the PC tries to marry first-person shooting with point-and-click adventure games. And if you're anything like me, that sounds amazing. It's not amazing. You play as the sole survivor of a plane that crash lands on an island full of wacky zombies. There's some mad scientist guy who's doing a bad because evil. It's goofy and inconsequential, and that would be all fine and good if the gameplay wasn't so... How do I put this delicately? Shit-blisteringly awful. As I alluded to earlier, it has two main gameplay modes. There's the first-person shooting and a sort of a point-and-click adventure thing. Allow me to illustrate. The game begins in front of the smoldering, crashed plane. Before you do anything, you're required to venture back into it and pick up some items that you need to play, let alone finish the game. One of which is a machete that is used for basic combat and cutting holes in the dense foliage in order to access other areas. Any other areas. If you don't go into the plane, you won't get it. If you wait too long, the plane becomes inaccessible and you'll have to start over. Now let's say you have the items from the plane, but so far there's no gun in this first-person shooter. So it's exploring time. At this point, you'll start to see items that are clearly meant to be picked up. And if you've played any other action games, you'll know that just walking over an item should allow you to do this. Except Isle of the Dead decided to be cute about it. Here, you need to press the G button to get the item. This alone would be annoying, but you have to be right in front of the object in order to do this. Just a little bit too far away, you can't get it. Hold forward for a millisecond too long, and you've overshot the thing. Oh, and you will overshoot the thing because the controls are simultaneously too sensitive and way too sluggish. Yeah. Now imagine trying to do this with a conga line of undead assholes right behind you. So now you have the machete, you found ammo, but no gun. To even find your first gun, you need to travel the circumference of the island to behind the plane, and only then will you get the shotgun. And to be fair, maybe we should consider this more of a proto-survival horror experience. In that case, not immediately getting access to your ranged weapon and limited ammo would make sense. But Isle of the Dead isn't so much survival horror as it is survival annoyance. The combat isn't tense or difficult, each enemy takes a very specific number of shotgun shots to take down, so mostly I just sat there shooting and counting. 1, 2, 3, dead. 1, 2, dead. That is until you realize that unlike other first-person games, you clip right through the enemies. So, yeah, they might take a swing at you, but you can always pause, eat a banana to refill your health, and keep going. Now, if the game does have a saving grace, it's its highly detailed animations, especially for the time. And of course, most of them happen when you die. Sometimes you get eaten by zombies, sometimes you click on the wrong thing with no indication that it was dangerous, and when you die, it sends you right back to the start. Save early, save often, kids. They even made one for when you quit the game. Shit, and I thought it was bad when Wolf3D called me a wimp. And keep in mind that I installed this game from 4 3.5-inch floppies, the fourth of which was entirely comprised of these compressed animations. These are genuinely impressive. So you wander around the map until you eventually come to a town of natives. When you... Oh no. Dear. Let me just hold it, and there. That's better. Okay, so that was really uncomfortable, but at least it can't get any whoa there.
Hi-ho, sailor, what blows you into town? Take care, come back and see me sometime.
Okay, you know what? I think I'm good. Isle of the Dead, it's a game and you probably shouldn't play it.
Damn it, none of these games are spooky enough or spoopy enough to scratch that October itch. But you know, there's one that might just do the trick.